really quickly. Uh, it's a division sign, which means you're eventually going to turn the second one upside down. What I do first is I highlight all the parts that need to be factorized, okay? And hopefully most of you know how to factorize, okay? Now, the green one's the difference of two squares, which is x plus 3 and x minus 3. You cool with that? Okay. The yellow one is x into x plus 3. And the pink one is where most people made their mistakes. It was 4x cubed minus 10x squared. A lot of you took out 2x, but what you should have been taking out was 2x squared. Okay, so that's where, okay, now, we had some very unusual factorizing going on, okay? So, see the blue one down here? Okay, some of you do the minus b formula, which is okay, but then I need to explain how you finish it is the issue. You're all allowed to do the minus b formula. How you finish it is the issue. Out of interest, does anybody have the answer for the minus b formula of this one? Just hand me the answer if you could. What? Do you have it, Gleb? You must have used it. What is it? X? No. Wrong one. It's 1a, the one on 1a. I think you got x equals a half, 0.5. You know what? Here, I'll come over to you. For those of you who did the minus b formula, you would have got x equals 3 and x equals 2.5, right? Now, what I'm finding is the issue with more than one of you is you're just doing this. You're just throwing them both across, okay? And you're saying it's x minus 3 and then it's x minus 2.5. The issue is when you multiply them back out, what happens? It doesn't turn back into that, which means you've done something wrong. Now, what you've done wrong is the following. And this is the last time I want to see it in a test, okay? Especially a H1 test. Is that's 5 over 2. Agreed? 2.5 is 5 over 2. Bring the 2 up to the x. It's 2x equals 5. Bring the 5 out to your side and it's 2x minus 5. Bring the 3 over. It's x minus 3. So your answer should have been x minus 3 and 2x minus 5. Okay? Sorry, that's a 15. That's what I was wondering. That's a 15. Okay? We cool with that? Now, the way I teach my current second years to do it is sort of what I taught some of you at the start of the year. You take the first number and the last number, and what do? You get 30. Pick two numbers that multiply to give you 30, but add to give you minus 11. Yeah, and I just do it like this. See the way I turned the minus 11 into minus 5 and minus 6? And then all you have to do is factorize. So what happens when you take stuff out? 2x into x minus 3. As I tell my second year H4 class, the deal is that the second bracket is always the same as the first one, and then there's a minus 5, and then you just get 2x minus 5, x minus 3. I don't care what way you do it. Once you get the answer, it doesn't bother me. Okay, we all good? Now let's highlight what cancels here. I think this one cancels with this one. You can only cancel stuff on the top with stuff on the bottom. Okay, so there's a big confusion about that as well. Do that cancel. What else? They cancel, don't they? And what's the last thing that cancels? So it was actually 2x squared, which is 2x over. And that just leaves me 2x at the end. Okay, next one. Sorry guys. Next one is your adding fractions, okay? Ready? And the problem is with these two fractions is they haven't got a common denominator. So this one here and this one here, they're not a common denominator right now. So I need to fix that. So what I'll do first is I'll multiply out the top and I get 6x plus 3. I'm going to factorize x squared plus x minus 6. Now, there is a shortcut for this one. The shortcut for this one is because it's a 1x squared, you know it has to be split x and x has to be split up that way. Next thing, two numbers that multiply to give you minus 6 but add to give you what? Plus 1. What two numbers do you reckon? 3 and minus 2. So that'll be a plus 3 and that'll be a minus 2. Okay. Okay. Now, this is what I'm doing with my TYs at the moment, okay? So we're actually doing this with TYs. And what I'm trying to get them to do is figure out, am I allowed to add them currently? I am not allowed to add them currently. Toby, why can't I add them currently? Any idea how to fix it? Like that, yeah? Okay. Do you see that? Some of you went down the route of multiplying up the x squared plus x minus 6. There is a way out of that, but it's so hard that I wouldn't recommend it. So from now on, when you're adding fractions or multiplying fractions, I'd ask that you fully factorize everything before you begin. It's not the first time you hear me say that either, right? All right. What happens here, guys? X squared minus 2x, is it? And then what's it? Plus 6x plus 3. And what's that on top then? X squared plus 4x plus 3 all over. Now, should I stop here? Why not? Top one looks like there could be a bit of factorizing left on it. Two numbers that add to 4, add to 4, but multiply to give you 3. 3 and 1. Okay. Anything cancel. And what's my answer then? X plus 1 and x minus 2. No. Now, lads, find the fifth term in the expansion. Now, we were pretty much beating this into you, right? 8C0 is the first one, isn't it? The second one, 8C1, and then what's the split? 7 and third one, 6 and 2. Fourth one, what is it? 5 and 3, and 5, the one we're looking for. What is it? 4 and 4. Now, what two numbers am I putting in here? Now, first thing I'm going to make clear, do you notice that there's nothing in between the two of them? What does that mean? It means multiply. So when you do all that hard work, I don't want some mysterious symbol appearing in between them. Okay? Now, who got 70? 70 is the correct answer, right? No, it's not. 70 would be the correct answer for the coefficient. It says the term, which is everything. So you need 70 x4, y4 for the full answer. All right. This one. Love this one. Shh. Ready, guys? Now, lads. Shh. This is what hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, this hurt a little bit on the video. Yeah. When you do these, okay, what's the goal of the question? Pick one letter and get rid of it. Now, what would happen is, if I got rid of z's, what would happen? There'd be an equation with an x and a y, and there'd be another equation with an x and a y, wouldn't there? Some people were getting rid of the z's the first time around, and then for some reason they'll get rid of the y's the second time around, and then they'd have an equation with x and z instead of x and y. You're meant to get rid of the same letter both times, so therefore you can work them together. See these two equations here in blue? Am I able to work the two of them together? Because there's 3 letters, right? Can I work the red ones together? Because there's 2 letters. Okay. So some of you are having a bit of an out of body experience during this question. Okay. Don't blame you. They're tough first couple of times around. Here's what I'm going to do. See this equation with 8 in it. It's going to multiply both sides by 2. Same thing as giving a common denominator, isn't it? What you get? 4x, yeah. plus y minus equals. Yeah, we all good? Now, the next one, I'm going to give everything a common denominator of 18. Is that okay? So 9 for the first one, 6 for the second one, 2 for the third one. 0 would be multiplied by 18, but it's 0, so it doesn't affect anything. So we're going to get 9x minus 6y plus 10z. All good? Oh, did I take the wrong symbol? It is plus 6y. Now that brings me to my next point. Before you move on to the next part, reread it, do the same step again in your head and check it. Because a lot of us went wrong in this section here. So therefore, you're going to get really weird numbers down the line. You're going to get like fractions and decimals and stuff. I think you could only max out on 9 or 12 out of 15 that way. Okay. Now, last one. See the 12? Don't turn these into 24. Is that right? So I'm going to do the first one. 4, second one. 6, third one. 2, last one. 3. Okay, call this my green equation. Okay. And we get 4x minus 6y plus 2z equals 21. Now, some of you may have doubled that. Some of you guys might have 42, which means you doubled the whole equation, which is okay. Now, I'm having a quick look through. I actually think y is my easiest route to victory. Why do I think y is a good choice? See the two of them? That's ready made for success, isn't it? Just add them together. And what do I get? 13x plus 12z equals 21. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this top equation here in blue. Do you see it? And I'm going to grab this. I'll grab this equation in blue as well. Do you see it? Now, what's my goal? To get rid of z or get rid of y? Get rid of y, because the equation I have down here has no y's in it. Therefore, I need to use the two blue equations to get rid of the y. What should I multiply the top one by? 6. I get 24x plus 6y minus 24z equals 64. Now I gotta drag this one down here. Not that. You get over there. Okay. It'll sync up. Be grand. Now what happens when I add them together? 28x, yeah. Minus 2z. Oh, wait. Was there a minus error there? It's, what's it? 96, thank you. You know what happened to me? I didn't check my line twice. I make tons of these mistakes. And the deal is I usually find them, if I'm in a test situation, I do everything twice before I move on. Sometimes I do it 3 times. Just once in paper, once in my head, then I check. Okay, we all do it. What do we get? 117 seems familiar. We go with that. Now, looking at the two of these, I'm going to get rid of the Z's, but it's a really awkward number, aren't they, the two of these? Lads, everybody see 22 and 12? It's really awkward. I have an idea. I multiply the top equation by 12 and the bottom equation by 22, and that should sort it out. Just reverse them around. Is that okay? So if you aren't sure about the lowest common denominator, you can just switch them. So this one gets multiplied by 12, and that one gets multiplied by 22, and it should work out. So 12 times 28. Don't know if anybody went this through. 336 x. I think a lot of you had these two equations, and then you just turn around and ran. Well, that's fair enough. Requires me to think though, so. And Grant. That's a big old number, isn't it? That's what we're expecting, wasn't it? 264 to cancel. And 21 times 22. Okay, 462. Then what happens next, lads? All right, they do. And then I add the two of them together, which isn't the funnest experience. 622x, and then add the two of them together. I think it's going to go in 3 times anyway in a minute's time. And when you divide 1866 by 622, your x value is 3. All right. Now, is I'm going to pick one of the equations. I'll pick this equation here because I'm looking at it right now. See the red box? Replace x with 3. 3 times 28, lads. 84 minus 22z is 117. Then 22z is going to move to the right. 117 is going to move to the left. And 22z is what's 84? Take away 117. 33. And then I'm going to divide it by 22. Unfortunately, a lot of you went for plus 3 over 2 when it was minus 3 over 2. So that's where your mistake kicked in. So it's now 3 and what's it? Minus 3 over 2. Okay. What do I do next? I'm still only getting 12 out of 15, believe it or not. I'm getting docked 3 marks for this. What do I need to do? Go all the way up towards and get the y value. Now, what I'm taking of using is that blue equation there. You see the blue equation? Okay. Once again, I'm being efficient here. See the way y is on its own? See the way y is on its own? It's the laziest way for me to do this question. Y equals 16. Take away 4x, isn't it? But what do we know x is? 3. What's that? Add 4z, and what's z again? Minus 3 over 2. And the y value will come out at minus 2 when you pop that into the calculator. Okay, guys. 2 ways of doing this, okay? The most common approach for people was everybody decided to replace x cubed with minus 5x squared, okay? Now, this wouldn't be the way I teach it, and it has in the marking scheme that if you do it this way, you have to write an explanation as to why you did it. So if you got docked 5 random marks, that will be the reason why. Okay? Now, so it'll be something like this. Most of you went this way, so I'll do this way first. Most of you did x squared. Okay, you get x cubed minus plus 4x squared. Take that away. Minus 9x squared minus 22x. Okay. We good with that? Then I got minus 9x. Then we multiply that, it's minus 9x squared minus 36x. And then plus, what am I going to get there? 14x and 56. Is this right? 14 times at the end. Okay. And then because it goes in 14 times, you just end up getting no remainder at the end. Okay? Now, you have to write yourself a little bit of a spiel about why you did that. That's what the marking scheme said. That's not the way I taught you how to do it, by the way. So I never had to explain this to you, right? So because x plus 4 divides in equally, when q equals minus 5, it must be a factor. Something along those lines, okay? Happy enough? Yes. Once again, this is not the method I showed you how to do this question, so therefore I never needed to cover it. All right. Now, I'm going to do my method in a second. Okay? So, basically, the method I did the day before the exam is what I'm going to show you. Now, yeah, I know. Now, this is what's called a factor theorem. Okay? Factor theorem says that if x plus 4 is a factor, what's the root? What's the root? Okay. We all factorize the yellow one. Everybody see the yellow one? We factorize that, and what do we get? X minus 2 and x minus 7, yeah? And then what would the two roots be for that one then? Okay? And x equals 2 and x equals 7. Is that right? All right. Now, all good? Now, that would be worth full marks, okay? Now, the way I would have taught you to do it would be the following, okay? So, what I would say is this. If you have a question like this, all right? So if you have, for example, x plus 2 equals 0, yeah? And the answer is x equals minus 2. That means x minus 2 is a root of this equation, which means when I replace x with minus 2, what happens? It balances and becomes 0. So my method for doing this question was using the factor theorem covered beforehand, would be x minus 4 is a root. Agreed? Replace x minus 4 into the equation, and what has to happen? What has to happen when you replace x equals minus 4 into this? Has to equal 0, doesn't it? Okay, so that'll be minus 64 plus 16q. Then what? What? Plus 88. Then plus 56. Then after that, 16q equals, we've got, it's actually going to be 16q plus 80 equals 0. And then q equals minus 80, and q equals minus 5. Now, once I show that q equals minus 5, I do exactly the same method from earlier. I just don't need to write that spiel I was talking about. Okay? So I'd still divide x plus 4 back into the original equation. I'd still get x squared minus 9x plus 14. And I'd still get x equals minus 4, x equals 2, and x equals 7. Now, for those of you, okay, we have a cubed. Lads, we have a cubed minus b cubed. And the answer is it's a minus b into a squared plus ab plus b squared. Now, if you have about a minute extra to spare or 30 seconds extra to spare, you can check if this is the correct one. How can you check if it's the correct one? Multiply it out. A cubed plus a squared b plus ab squared. And then you multiply it by minus b down. You get minus ba squared or minus a squared b. Then you get minus ab squared. And finally you get minus b cubed. And what you notice cancels. And what's left over? A cubed minus b cubed. Okay? So you know that what you have here is the correct equation. And it only takes 30 seconds to check. Okay, it's well worth the 30 seconds. Or that you're taking it down correctly into your logbook. Okay? Now, next thing we're going to do is the following. We are going to cube root this. What happens when you cube root 64? So it's 4x to be cubed and then 5. Somebody just dropped the letters like they didn't exist. The letters are important. Please don't do that. So you replace a with what? Replace a with what, lads? For x, replace b with 5. Now, please notice another thing that happens a lot. See the minus? That minus is incorporated into the equation. You do not need to worry about that being a minus 5. Where there was a b, there's now a 5. And the minus is still exactly where you left it, isn't it? So you only have to worry about replacing b with 5. Nothing fancy. So what's a squared then, lads? What's 4x to be squared? Yeah, a lot of people left 4x squared there, right? You guys wrote 4x squared. It's very different than 4x to be squared, which actually means 4x multiplied by another 4x. Okay, now next thing, 4x times 5, 20x, and then finally 5 times 5, 25. We all good? Okay. Okay. Ah, my old friends. All right. Here we go, guys. Ready? Lads, would you all agree that 10 divided by 2 is the same as 20 divided by 4? Would you all agree with that? Now, I'm allowed to move the 4 in which direction? If I move the 4 up to the 10, is the balance maintained? Because it'll be 40 divided by 2, which still equals 20. Agreed? Where can I move this 2 to? Where can I move the 2 to? And it comes multiplied, doesn't it? Whatever move you make has to maintain the original balance. Agreed? So here's how do you think I'm going to extend that into this question? See the 1, what's it going to get multiplied by? The j plus k. It's going to be 1 multiplied by j plus k. What's going to happen to the h? It's going to go to the k, isn't it? See the 1? Doesn't do anything, does it? So it's just j plus k equals hk. Have I broke the bank on knowledge so far? No. It wants k on its own, but I have 2 of them. If I have 2 of them, I'm going to move them both to the same side. So I'm going to do j equals hk minus k. Everybody cool with that? I still have 2 of them though. Anybody know what to do next? Factorize them. What you get then? K into h minus 1 equals j. Now finally, what's the relationship between k and that bracket h minus 1? What's the relationship? Multiplication. And if I move the h minus 1 to the other side, division. Thing. When I taught you these originally, I said they're not to be done in the same way you would do a regular simultaneous equation. Do you understand? Some of you tried some fancy stuff. Some of it was impressive. Most of it didn't work out. Overall, it just wasn't necessary to do it that way, right? So the rule is you label the quadratic and you label the linear, don't you? Now you have a choice. Would you like to get x on its own or y on its own? Y is the lazier, better option. Can anybody explain why? Y equals 3 minus 2x. If you got x on its own, what would it look like? 2x equals 3 take away y. X equals 3 take away y over 2. Both answers lead you to the same place. Yeah? So does swimming upstream and walking up a river on the path also lead you to the same place. One of them is considerably harder than the other. Which one's the easier method? What's the first one considered the easier method? No fractions. I'll take that all day long. So what am I going to replace y with? 2x squared, yeah. And the next one? Oh, this guy knows who he is. My first years can square that out. Okay? Expect that you can as well. 3 minus 2x multiplied by another 3 minus 2x. And what do we get? 9 minus 6x minus another 6x plus. Yeah. Now what? 3x minus equals 2. All right, we're nearly there now. What do we get next? 2x squared, yeah? I'm getting, yeah, minus 9x, good job. And then what's a 9 take away 2? 7. Okay. And we're about to get this out, aren't we? You can do the minus b here directly, and you don't have to worry about it because it's not a factorized question; it's a solved question. Okay. However, I'll just do it my way really quickly. 2 times 7, two numbers that multiply to give you 14, but I have to give minus 9. Okay. Okay. And then after that, 2x into x minus 1, 7x minus 1, and then 2x minus 7 into x minus 1 equals 0. Then you get x equals 1, and then underneath, 2x equals 7, and then x equals 7 over 2. Okay. Fortunately, I'm on 12 out of 15, I believe. So where's the rest of it coming from? Three minus, what's it, 2 times 1, is it? So y equals 1. Then y equals 3 times minus 2 times 7 over 2. What's that one then? Yeah, there's your 2 sets of answers. Okay. Four answers, okay? Okay. Lads, next thing we're going for is general factorizing, okay? I'll lob through really quickly. 4 times 6, 24. Minus 8 minus 3. I won't spend too long at this. 4x and then x minus 2. Oh, whoa. I did something wrong. It's a 6, not 24. Minus 3 into x minus 2. 4x minus 3 and x minus 2. Okay, next one. 10 times minus 20. Now, you know what? I'm going to do it the minus b way, just to show how it should be done, okay? Now, a is 10, b is minus 17, and c is minus 20. You're going to use the minus b formula. Okay. How many of you use the minus b formula primarily anyway? That does 2. Okay, 3. Right. Now, here's what I want you to do there. Get your calculator out. What's a minus b? So that's 17 plus square root minus 17 squared minus 4ac. Okay, all over 2a. 2 times 10. And get an answer of 5 over 2. And then the other answer is, okay, you got 3 out of 5 for this. Can I explain why? It's not an equal 0, is it? It's not a solved question, it's a factorized question. So what you did there is merely considered an attempt. Here's how you finish it off. Bring the 2 up. 2x equals 5. Bring the 5 up. 5x equals minus 4. And then 2x minus 5 and 5x plus 4. Okay, guys. That's covering the minus b methods for anybody that uses it. Okay. Lastly, you ready? Have to move this around. Okay. And unfortunately, so it's AC minus AD. That's okay because we take out A, can't I? Does everybody see the way C is in head of D? Everybody see the way C is in head of D? So I want the same thing for my back two. So I'm going to make it plus BC minus BD. And there's another C minus D. And there is your answer. Yes. Shh. All right. Shh. Lads, you looking? Factorize 15. It's going to be plus 5 and minus 3. X to x in the middle. And finally, the one that we all got right, thank God, is x squared